Hey guys, how's it going? Just checking in from Israel like usual. It's Tuesday, so I'm doing a live again about your marketing, your writing, things of that nature, all that stuff I'm good at. So I'm getting to this early enough while it's still light, so I can actually do it while there's sunlight outside instead of just in the in the study. I'm actually getting to this earlier today because I have the pleasure of being home with Ido right now. He's working at home with me, and thankfully we both still have work, and we get to spend all this time together, and it's really great. So I hope wherever you guys are at, you guys are doing well too. Anyways, I'm gonna jump right in. Anyways, I last week I got a flurry of work, which is fantastic. And the pattern I noticed is that the most kind of work that I got was bookkeeper websites. Um, and what that's telling me is that there are people, everyone's at home and they're thinking, I have all this extra time. I have these things I need to get off my to-do list. My website's one of those things I want to get off that list. Um, but even with that extra time that we have at home, I'm still getting this bookkeeping or this website writing work. Just all of a sudden, it came through. So it tells me that people want this done. They want to work on it while they're home. But even with the extra time, it's still something that's really uh, it's not comfortable to do if you're not used to writing in that way. If you're not used to writing in a marketing way, some people just aren't words people, especially like bookkeepers, accountants. They're numbers people. That's where they're more comfortable. A lot of times, I hear bookkeepers get analysis paralysis. There's no balancing a website content spreadsheet. It's not how that works. um, so they're not quite sure what the right thing is to write. So I think that's why I'm getting all of this website writing work, is that even with the extra time, it's still something that's hard to do, something that's still stressful, something that's still time consuming. And it's time that, you don't feel like you're doing it well. So, anyways, for those of you who are DIYing your websites right now, I'm super proud of you. And I want to help equip you with that. And the first thing I'm going to do is today I'm going to talk about the 5 mistakes I see most often on bookkeeping websites. And then all for the rest of April, I'm going to talk about website content, like your homepage, how to set that up, and how to write the content in a way that's appealing, that will bring people through to the next page on your website. We'll talk about an about page, how to make that compelling and to make them come to you as an expert. Your services page, how to set that up in a way that makes them want to get in contact with you, things of that nature. But today I'm going to focus on the 5 mistakes I see most commonly on bookkeeper websites. And I say that because since this is my niche, this is my specialty, I have spent a lot of time specifically in bookkeeper websites. I have a reference spreadsheet that I work with. It's got more than 70 bookkeeper websites on there. I use that when I work with bookkeepers to draft their websites. I use it for my own reference all the time. And it's not an exaggeration to say I've been on hundreds of bookkeeping websites, seeing what's out there, what's being done well, what's being done not so well. So I run my eyeballs over a few bookkeeping websites, is what I'm saying. Anyways, I don't know how you're putting yours together. A good tip, if you are just feel like you're getting started, just try, reach out to me, ask for the link for the bookkeeping website list. I'd love to share that with you. I've got it in categories, their names, their social media links. I've started adding different niches, just ways to keep it organized in a way that's helpful for my reference and for yours. And I'm always adding to it as I keep working and adding new examples for new clients. It's it's an ever growing piece of tool of mine. So, um, having said all of that, the first mistake that I see almost every single time is that there are too many words. In when it comes to your business website, in most content, in this way, less is more. And I mean that in multiple ways. You do not have to fill up all the white space on your website to have it be complete. I know the bookkeepers I talk to feel like they have to add all of the information. You don't. You don't need to add all the information. You just need to add the right information. Also, from a visual perspective, and think about, remember those like novels that you were forced to read in high school? They're really dense ones. You open them up and the paragraph is like the whole page and it's in the teeny tiny font. You look at it and your brain just kind of shuts down. It's like, oh God, that's going to be so much work. That's what everyone else's brain does. If they come to your website and it's just big blocks of huge paragraphs, that is not how you want to do it. You want to write short. You want to use as few words as possible to get across your message. You are not there to write them a novel. You are not there to tell them 100 stories. You're there to give them information about how to work with you and prove that you know what you're doing and that you solve the problem that they have. So less is more. Use fewer words. Give it breathing room. And if you're like, well, I can't get rid of this content, I have to have all of this stuff here in this paragraph. Okay, fine. Then break it out into either smaller paragraphs or even better into bullet points if you can. If you are talking, for example, about your experience, break it down into bullet points. People are much more likely to skim a bulleted list than to read a paragraph about your education history. Um, People don't come to websites to read, they skim. So another thing you can do is with those bullet points, as much as you can add them in there, do like big subheaders. That way they can easily navigate the page. It's like, oh, this is what this section is about. This section is about, like, oh, this is what we do, this stuff like that. um, you want to make it easy for people to read at a glance. You're not looking to do big paragraphs, so um, fewer words, especially on your homepage. Your homepage, if it has a bunch of confusing text, it won't get them to click to page two. It won't get them to schedule a call with you or send you the email. Um, Fewer words, fewer words. Once again, there are plenty of good there's a couple of good bookkeeping websites I've seen that have kept it very clean, very short. If you want those websites, I don't have the top of my head. Send me a message. I'm happy to send them to you. Another thing I see, and this kind of goes along with the too many words, I see too many tabs. I don't know what it is, but I see a lot of bookkeepers like to have like 6, 7, 8, 9 tabs, sometimes 2 rows of tabs across the top of their website, and it's tools, it's tax tips, it's all sorts of stuff. You want to keep that as basic as possible. When people come to your website, you don't want them to have to work really hard to know the next step. The purpose of your website is to get them to work with you. That's what you want them to do. You don't want to confuse them. You want to give them a very clear trail. You want the map to be very simple, not hard to navigate, and very clear. And if you have like 9 tabs up top, they're not sure which one to click on next to work with you, to learn more about you. You want to keep it really simple. Um, Once again, the packages I sold this week is just like I sold basic website packages. It's a home page, an about page, and a services page. And of course, you'll add a contact page. I don't need to write that for you, but just enough that they know the problem you're solving for them. Um, they know the problem you're solving for them, and that you're an authority, that you have the background to solve it for them, and how to reach out to you, what the process is. You don't need to go way beyond that. And if you do, you could confuse them and lose someone moving from your site to contacting you to making a sale. So, as few tabs as possible. Don't make it hard for them. Don't do analysis paralysis. Keep it simple. Um, Number three, I don't see enough calls to action. Now, I have that written out as CTA. Um, the simplest way to say this is if you don't ask them to take the next step, if you don't ask them to buy, if you don't ask them to call, if you don't ask them to email, they're not going to. So in the same way where I'm saying too many tabs makes confusion the next step, what you're using the calls to action for is you're making it very clear this is the next step. They've gone through your website, they like it, and then they're like, okay, so what do I do now? Do I email her? Where do I find her email address? You gotta make sure that it's very clear what they do next, and you have to make it as easy as possible. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to reduce the friction between the website and reaching out to you. So on every single page of your website, you need to have a call to action. um, Basically, you want to have a great big button on your website that basically says, like, contact us today, send us an email, things of that nature. Make sure the button is nice and big, is in a different color compared to the rest of your color scheme. You want it standing out, and you want it on every page. I don't know if you've ever gotten like a sales email, or gone to a sales landing page for like a course. But you'll see that, like, even the single email, it's just like you'll have a call to action, like, buy here, go to the sales page now. And it's just like, even in that one email, there'll be multiple points of encouraging you to buy. Um, so on every page, tell them what the next step is. Make it easy, make it stupid proof. And like on your homepage, even there at the very top, you're basically going to have like your banner picture. My neighbor kids had this little motorized car, and that's what the sound is behind me. They like have been going up and down the alley because, bless their hearts, they've been so stir crazy. So that's what the sound is behind me. um, you basically have your tagline saying, "This is what I do," and then right below that, you're going to have a button saying, like, contact us today. You want to make it super easy for them to just reach out to you. So that's another thing. Ask for the sale, ask the next step, tell them what it is. Another thing is, I see plenty of images on bookkeeper websites, but this is also a problem I see on their social media, their Facebook pages too. Bookkeepers seem to be shy about using pictures with people in them. And this is something that if you ever need like more guidance that's like easy to understand, very straightforward, Donald Miller has this book called Building a Story Brand, and it's got lots of good information about branding, but also just like how that impacts your website, how to set up your website. So there's my book recommendation for you. And so he talks about the importance of having smiling people in images on your website. And he says, images of smiling, happy, satisfied people, they represent an emotional destination we'd like to head toward. It closes a story loop. So, for example, on my own website, I make sure that the banner at the very top of it is a bunch of, most of the people I work with are, like, women in their 30s or 40s or 50s. They're bookkeepers. And so I just have a group of professional women sitting at a table having a business meeting, and they're laughing and smiling together, because I want people to think, oh, that's the result of working with Heather. That is the end goal of our process together, is we will be working together and be happy and solving a problem. So once again, I've used it in my website. I wouldn't suggest it if I didn't, employ it myself. So if you have pictures on your website, don't just do a stock photo of a calculator and a stock photo of a checklist and a stock photo. Stock photos are fine. You want images, but you got to have, we're psychologically drawn to people's faces. It's even to the point where if you look, like, there's studies about how if you have a picture of a face and the eyes are like pointing up this way, if you're on the website, your eyes will naturally follow the eye line of the person in the picture. Like, it's crazy. So use that. Put happy people in there. If you're trying to point towards something and you're trying to get all crazy like that, use eyes. Point them to where you want them to go. So use photos that have your face. And this is more for social media. If you have a social media page, don't be afraid of doing the occasional selfie. Of course, it doesn't have to be all selfies, but people want to know who you are, so put your face on there too. And last but not least, something I see a lot on bookkeeping pages that's a mistake is you talk about your features instead of their benefits, instead of the reader's benefits. You need to be focused on what they want. So I know, like, it makes perfect sense that you're super proud that you're a CPA, you're an EA, you have these awards, you have these certifications. Here's all my badges. Here's all the firms that I worked for. And it's just like, for me as a reader, I don't care at a certain point. Early on, I want to know that you understand my problem, that you can and that you can solve it. But first, I need to know that you know what my problem is. So I run in a circle with this lady who's an excellent copywriter, and she's done a lot of research in the psychology of messaging. And one of those elements is we we buy with our emotions, and then we back up. We support with our logic. So you're going to need to speak to the emotional needs of these people. So for example, this is from Copyblogger. If you ever wanted to get into content marketing, on your own, Copyblogger is a great source. I'm actually in the middle of doing a content marketing online course with them because we have time to do this. um, this guy Sean Jackson had this good quote. He says, "Who cares if your service saves time?" Like, it's like too abstract, but if they're saving time, they can get to this other better place. So you really need to drill down to that area. It's just like, okay, you got to the point of, I can reconcile your books for you. Okay, I can save time for you. Now really get down to that next level below that. So it's just like, I reconcile your books, I save time. Now what does that time mean? Now think about who your clients are. Is that more time with their family? Is it more time to put back into their business? Is it more time to grow their business if they're like startups? Really get into their emotional needs. What is the emotional root of the problems that they get into? You can look on my blog, on my previous videos. I talk a lot about the importance of understanding your client, of putting together an ideal client avatar. This is all a part of that. You need to make sure you know who you're talking to, because that really affects your messaging. It's just like, for example, my sister and I tell a lot of coarse jokes, and my father's more conservative. I'm going to tell a story to my crass sister very differently than I would to my conservative father. So just kind of a funny example where who you're talking to changes how you tell a story. So you have to know who you're telling your business story to, in order to know what do they want. You have to help them know that you know that. And then once you hit that emotional point, once you're just like, I know that you're feeling X and Y and Z, this is how I can help you. And then once you've hit that emotional point for them, once you've talked first about how this benefits them, how this makes their lives better, how it's about them, then you can talk about how, well, here's what I'm good at and how I can do it for you. Then you can come from behind with your features. I have this X number of experience, and that means that I work faster in these ways. And sorry, I'm losing my spot in my notes. My apologies. Yeah, they want to know how you're making their lives better, and they want to know that you can accomplish it. So first, connect with them on that emotional level, that hit them where they feel the need, and then tell them, I can help you because, and that will make a big difference, because once again, you're starting with the emotion, which is what they'll buy from, and then you're backing it up like, I can help you. Here's the logical reasons why I can help you. So those are the 5 things I see done. The 5 mistakes I see most often, like across the board on almost every bookkeeping website that I've seen or started working on. They're not hard to fix. It's just a matter of knowing it and applying it. And you can do that. I do have one more bonus tip for you. If you have testimonials, use them everywhere. So it's not just about having a testimonial page. What you're going to want to do is you're going to put testimonials on every page you can. There is so much research out there about how impactful a testimonial is. We are so much more likely to buy something, to find something credible, if someone else has used it, especially if it's a friend of ours or someone else has recommended it that we trust. So, for example, like on your services page, try to like have like a short blurb in there, a testimonial from a customer. So you're listing out what your services are, and then as they read through the services, right there at the bottom, boop, there's a testimonial saying, from a customer saying what a difference you made for them and things of that nature. You are backing up. Here's what I've done. Here's how it works. And same with like put one on the homepage too, one or two on the homepage. I have that on mine. Because if they don't click through, at least they see that pull, at least they see those testimonials. And honestly, that might be something that gives just enough strength. If they see those testimonials, it may give them just enough, what you're saying, just enough credibility, just enough pull to go to the next page. So put them like from the beginning. You want other people vouching for you. Anyone can say I'm the best, I'm good, I do good work. Testimonials are hugely powerful. Don't neglect them. Use them as much as you can. They really make a big difference in the effectiveness of your website, your content, all of those things. Anyways, all right, that is what I have for you today. Wherever you're at, I'm assuming at home, hopefully safe, hopefully with people that you like, and hopefully enjoying your time inside. I'm lucky in so many ways right now. I get to, I'm social distance with, my favorite person. We have a balcony overlooking this side. There it is. This beautiful palm tree. Um, Spring is here and like everything is blooming around us. There's an orange tree outside our window that's got flowers all over it and smells amazing. And we both still have work. So I'm really, really grateful for that. I hope you guys are just as lucky as I am. And yeah, however I can help you guys right now with your content, with your websites, with your social media. If you have questions about, well, how do I talk about the coronavirus? How do I promote myself when there's this crisis going on? Please reach out to me. I'd love to help you. Uh, it may take some pivoting, but there's business out there for you. Um, like I said, I keep picking up projects right now, and I'm loving it and feel very grateful for all of it. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. I will talk to you guys next week for sure. And actually, in the next couple days, I'll probably do a live with my boyfriend, just updating you how things are in Israel. He sees me doing these all the time, so I think I may have talked him into doing one with me. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Stay safe and take care. Bye.